So the company was named Essentials for a very specific reason. So it was just me at the time. And I thought, I want to progressively understand and focus on what matters most, what is essential. And didn't realize at the time that that would be a daily 20-year contemplation, but it has been. And over the years, having worked literally with thousands of people, I mean, I began my career in this field when I was 27 years old, and now I'm 61. So it's been thousands of people. I've seen thousands of assessments for sure. And so these little nuggets come through those experiences and through the pain that the experiences taught me, right? And the difficulties we all go through. And so one of those was the idea of all conflict is inner conflict. Is that 100% true? I don't know. But in order to resolve a conflict, it's incredibly important for the individuals involved in that conflict to own their piece of it. And even if your role in it was 5%, that 5% is what you need to be working on. So if we take this attitude that if I'm in conflict, part of it's inner conflict. And what if I'm in conflict? I'm all stressed about this at 3 in the morning. That person's not even around me. Where is that conflict then? They're not even there. That conflict is clearly inner conflict at that juncture. If the person's not in the room, where's it happening? It's not happening with them, it's happening in you. I think that's just incredibly important if one or a group wants to dissolve conflict. So all conflict is inner conflict. Okay, so how do we start dissolving conflict? So that led to another core principle that evolved over this 30 plus years was that greater understanding dissolves conflict. So how do we get greater understanding? Well, we begin with another core principle, which is curiosity. Because as long as we're curious and as long as we're seeking information, that there has to be a certain level of openness to be curious. And we talk about open heart, open mind being so important. Well, how do you have an open heart and open mind? You set your mind on being curious. And if you're curious, you're going to get a greater understanding. And if you get a greater understanding, that is the basis of dissolving conflict. My favorites, I have so many stories on that, but one I'll share briefly. I think it came from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which was a seminal work and probably still is by Stephen Covey. And he tells the story of being exhausted getting on the subway. Let's just say it was New York. And guy gets on the subway and his teenage children are acting crazy, yelling, carrying on. It's really frustrating. Stephen, big time, is finding it intolerable. And how can you have children act like this in a public space and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he finally confronts the man who's sitting there not even understanding or just acting as if they don't even exist. And he confronts him on it. And the man says to him, true story, I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention. We just came from burying their mother. Think he was concerned with those children after that? Greater understanding. His mind was they were out of control, undisciplined children. That was his reality before the greater understanding came in one sentence. So as long as you're seeking greater understanding, it may take a moment like that. It may take a month. It may take a year. It doesn't matter. It's still the formula. Seek greater understanding. Recognize the conflict is part of that conflict's internal. All conflicts is inner conflict. And the assumption that greater understanding will dissolve that conflict and begin with curiosity that opens your heart and opens your mind to get that greater understanding.